The throne has fallen, the vaults are empty, and the King of the South has been stripped of his crown in what is being called the most brutal financial assassination in hip-hop history. Reports are flooding in that T.I. has officially hit rock bottom. Total, soul-crushing bankruptcy. But this wasn't bad luck. This was a cold, calculated hit job orchestrated by the industry's most dangerous mastermind, 50 Cent. For months, 50 has been weaponizing T.I.'s debts and scaring off every major investor in the Harris portfolio. But tonight, the game just changed forever. Tiny Harris has finally snapped. In a leaked, high-tension confrontation that has sent shockwaves through the industry, Tiny didn't just defend her husband. She went for 50's throat. She has exposed a dark, underground plot that 50 Cent thought would stay buried forever. We're talking about a secret so explosive it doesn't just explain the bankruptcy. It proves that 50 Cent has been planning T.I.'s ruin for over a decade. Grab your seats, because the Harris family is on the verge of losing everything, and Tiny is about to burn the whole house down just to take 50 with them. To understand how the King of the South ended up in the crosshairs of a total financial liquidation, you have to understand the decade-long Cold War between T.I. and 50 Cent. This isn't just about rap bars or Instagram memes anymore. This is about the systematic dismantling of a $100 million legacy. For years, T.I. has sat on the throne of Atlanta, pioneering the trap sound and building a diversified empire that included real estate, technology, and media. But while T.I. was focused on building, 50 Cent was focused on hunting. Curtis, 50 Cent, Jackson has made a secondary career out of becoming a financial assassin. He doesn't just want to out-rap you. He wants to own the building you live in and then evict you on camera. We've seen him do it to Ja Rule. We've seen him do it to Rick Ross, and now he's turned his sights on the Harris family. But why now? And why is it working? The answer lies in the fragile architecture of T.I.'s finances. On paper, Clifford Harris is a mogul, but the public record tells a story of a man fighting a multi-front war against the IRS and aggressive creditors. Since 2015, T.I. has been dodging federal tax liens like bullets, with debts totaling over $4.5 million at various intervals. The industry secret that nobody wanted to talk about until now is that T.I.'s grand hustle was operating on a razor-thin margin. When 50 Cent started his 2026 campaign of trolling, he wasn't just making jokes about King Harris or Tiny's performances. He was performing social engineering. By constantly highlighting T.I.'s debts and questioning his liquidity, 50 Cent triggered a silent run on the Harris Bank. Investors who were once ready to pour millions into T.I.'s Atlanta real estate projects started pulling back. Banking partners began reviewing their credit lines. In the world of high finance, perception is reality, and 50 Cent was painting a reality of a man who is drowning. The background of this feud is littered with personal betrayals. 50 Cent has always viewed T.I.'s paper trail as a weakness. While T.I. was trying to be a community leader, 50 was playing the role of the ultimate disruptor. The tension reached a fever pitch when 50 Cent began teasing a Diddy-style documentary specifically targeting T.I.'s private business dealings. This wasn't just content. It was a warning shot. 50 was signaling to the world that he had the receipts, the internal audits, the private ledgers, and the secret agreements that T.I. desperately needed to keep hidden. But the most chilling part of this background isn't the tax debt, it's the timing. T.I. was counting on a $71 million windfall from his massive lawsuit victory against MGA Entertainment. That money was supposed to be the great reset for the Harris family, the cash that would clear the debts and silence the trolls. But somehow, that money got stuck in a legal labyrinth. Rumors began to circulate in the elite circles of Atlanta that a third party was meddling in the appeals process, ensuring that T.I. wouldn't see a dime of that judgment for years. Tiny Harris, the silent engine behind the family's success, watched as her husband's life work was being chipped away piece by piece. She saw the stress in the mansion. She saw the phone calls that weren't being returned. She realized that 50 Cent wasn't just a rapper with a grudge. He was a predator who had found a scent of blood in the water. The bankruptcy wasn't a slow decline. It was a sudden, violent collapse triggered by a mastermind who knew exactly which pillar to pull to make the whole temple fall. And that is exactly why Tiny Harris decided that the time for dignified silence was over. If 50 Cent was going to play dirty, she was going to bring the whole industry into the mud with them. The tension that had been simmering in the shadows for months finally reached a violent, public boiling point. It happened at an ultra-exclusive, black-tie event in Manhattan, a place where the elite of the music industry gathered to strike deals, not to start wars. But Tiny Harris didn't come to strike a deal. She came for blood. Witnesses claim that the air in the room turned ice-cold the moment 50 Cent walked in, flashing that trademark, billionaire smirk. T.I. was nowhere to be seen, reportedly tied up in emergency meetings with bankruptcy lawyers, leaving Tiny to stand as the lone guardian of the Harris legacy. The conflict didn't start with a shout. It started with a whisper. 50 Cent was reportedly overheard at a corner table, holding court with a group of high-level hedge fund managers, allegedly joking about buying the Grand Hustle catalog for cents on the dollar. Once the foreclosure notices hit the press, that was the spark. Tiny Harris, who has been the backbone of the Harris family through every prison stint and every legal battle, didn't hesitate. She bypassed security and marched straight into 50 Cent's circle. The leaked audio that has been circulating on underground forums, and which our sources have partially verified, is bone-chilling. You can hear the clinking of champagne glasses stop abruptly as Tiny's voice pierces through the room. "You think you're a genius, Curtis? You think it's a game to play with my family's survival," she screamed. The room went silent. 50 Cent didn't even stand up. He just looked at his watch and replied with a cold, calculated indifference. "I'm not playing, Tiny. I'm just watching the numbers. And right now, the numbers say you guys are done." Tiny's response was a verbal nuclear strike. She didn't just call him a bully. She accused him of something far more sinister: market manipulation. According to the confrontation, Tiny claims she has proof that 50 Cent used his power, universe connections to blackball T.I. from major distribution deals. She shouted about secret clauses and scare tactics that 50 allegedly used to convince Atlanta developers to pull out of T.I.'s Bankhead revitalization projects. This wasn't just a beef over rap. This was a war over the very ground T.I. stands on. But then came the moment that turned this from a public argument into a historic betrayal. As security rushed in to separate them, Tiny dropped the first major twist that has left the industry paralyzed. She didn't just blame 50 Cent's outside influence. She revealed that the Harris family had been compromised from the inside. "We know about the mole, Curtis." Tiny screamed as she was being held back. "We found the encrypted drive. We know you've been paying someone in our inner circle to leak our private bank statements for the last year." The silence that followed was deafening. If Tiny's accusation is true, 50 Cent hasn't just been trolling from his couch in Houston. He's been running a professional espionage operation against the King of the South. This would explain how 50 knew about the exact moment T.I.'s $71 million judgment was going to be held up in appeals. It explains how he knew about the private tax liens before they were even filed in court. 50 Cent wasn't predicting T.I.'s downfall. He was scripting it using stolen data. But the real twist, the one that makes your stomach turn, came from 50 Cent's final words before Tiny was escorted out. As he straightened his suit jacket, he didn't deny the mole. Instead, he leaned in and whispered loud enough for the surrounding guests to hear. "You're looking for a mole in the office, Tiny? Maybe you should look at who's sitting at your dinner table." The implication was clear, and it was devastating. 50 Cent wasn't pointing at a disgruntled intern or a bitter executive. He was suggesting that the person feeding him the ammunition to bankrupt T.I. was a member of the Harris family. The shockwaves from this revelation have already begun to tear the family apart. Social media has spent the last 6 hours dissecting every family member's recent posts, looking for signs of betrayal. Why has King Harris been so quiet? Why did Domani delete his recent stories? The major conflict isn't just Tiny versus 50 anymore. It's a hunt for a traitor within the most famous family in Atlanta. Tiny thought she was confronting an enemy, but she might have just realized that the enemy has been sleeping under her roof. 50 Cent didn't just drive T.I. into bankruptcy. He has allegedly turned his own flesh and blood into a weapon of mass financial destruction. And as the bankruptcy papers are being prepared, The question isn't about the money anymore. It's about who survives the fallout of a betrayal this deep. The aftermath of that Manhattan confrontation didn't just stay in the room. It ignited a digital wildfire that has effectively paralyzed the hip-hop industry. Within hours, the hashtag the Harris Mole began trending, but the escalation took a dark, professional turn when 50 Cent decided to stop whispering and start leaking. In what is being described as a tactical masterstroke of psychological warfare, 50 Cent didn't post a meme. Instead, he posted a single PDF cover page on his Instagram with the caption, "Audit results are in. Some kings are just pawns in their own house." The document, which has since been dubbed the G-Unit dossier, allegedly contains internal bank transcripts, wire transfer records, and private communications between T.I.'s legal team and his creditors. But it's not just the data that's shocking, it's the source. As the internet's top sleuths began analyzing the metadata of these leaks, they found a digital footprint that leads directly back to a private server located inside the Harris family estate in Atlanta. This wasn't a hack. This wasn't a remote breach. This was a manual download. Someone with physical access to T.I.'s private office has been feeding 50 Cent the exact coordinates to T.I.'s financial jugular. The industry response was instantaneous and brutal. High-level sources at Atlantic Records and several major real estate firms in Georgia reportedly held emergency meetings. The narrative in the boardroom shifted from T.I. is struggling to T.I. is compromised. Who can do business with a mogul whose own inner sanctum is leaking like a sieve? This is the second twist that has turned the bankruptcy into a tragedy. 50 Cent isn't just taking the money, he's taking the trust. He has effectively made T.I. untouchable in the business world. Why would an investor put $10 million into a bankhead development project if 50 Cent is going to post the private contract on Twitter 20 minutes later? But the escalation reached a fever pitch when Tiny Harris fired back on an Instagram Live that peaked at 400,000 viewers. Her eyes were red, her voice cracking with a mixture of exhaustion and venom. "You think you've won, Curtis? You think you can buy my family? You're a predator, but even predators get trapped," she hissed. But then, the shocking reveal happened. Midstream, a comment appeared from 50 Cent's verified account. It simply said, "Check the G-Unit website. New signing announcement at midnight." A real Harris finally joined the winning team. The stream went dead. The internet exploded. The shocking reveal that has everyone's soul trembling is the identity of the person 50 Cent is reportedly protecting. Late-night insiders are whispering that the mole isn't a disgruntled employee or a bitter ex-business partner. The person who reportedly handed over the financial keys to T.I.'s destruction is the one person T.I. has consistently tried to mold into his own image. The rumors are pointing directly at King Harris. The logic is as cold as it is believable. For years, we've watched the tension between T.I. and King play out on social media. T.I., the strict old-school father, and King, the new-school rebel who wants to prove he's harder and street-smarter than his father's legacy allows. The reveal suggests that 50 Cent didn't have to steal the data. He just had to offer King something T.I. never would: ultimate independence. 50 Cent reportedly offered King a massive production deal and a safe harbor from his father's financial collapse in exchange for the receipts on T.I.'s hidden accounts and tax shelters. If this is true, it is the ultimate Diddy-esque move. 50 Cent hasn't just driven T.I. into bankruptcy. He has dismantled the Harris family structure from the DNA up. He has turned a son into a financial spy. As of this moment, T.I. has reportedly locked himself in his studio, refusing to speak to anyone, including Tiny. The King of the South is sitting in a mansion that is officially in foreclosure, realized that the call was coming from inside the house the whole time. But the cliffhanger that has everyone losing their minds is a leaked text message purportedly from 50 Cent to an industry associate that surfaced on a Reddit thread. It says, "The bankruptcy is just phase 1. Phase 2 is when I show the world who actually owns the rights to trap music. Hint, it ain't tip." Is 50 Cent about to seize T.I.'s entire music catalog? Is he about to become the owner of the very songs that defined Atlanta? The escalation is no longer about a beef. It's about a total hostile takeover of a man's entire life. The fallout from Tiny Harris's explosive confrontation with 50 Cent hasn't just stayed in the headlines, it has fractured the very foundation of hip-hop culture. The industry is no longer just watching a beef. They're watching the systematic dismantling of an icon, and the reactions are as polarized as they are vicious. On the digital streets of Twitter and TikTok, the world has divided into two warring camps, and the middle ground has completely evaporated. The Team Harris defense in Atlanta. The mood is one of protective fury. Local legends and community leaders have rallied around the Harris family estate, calling 50 Cent's financial warfare a disgrace to the culture. Rappers like Mano and Papoose have reportedly reached out to Tip, offering public support against what they call predatory trolling. A viral fan thread with over 200,000 retweets summed up the sentiment. 50 Cent isn't just fighting T.I., he's trying to bankrupt a black family's future for a few likes. This isn't rap, this is a hit job. Tiny supporters are hailing her as the ultimate matriarch, praising her for stepping into the fire when her husband's back was against the wall. To them, this isn't about bankruptcy. It's about a queen defending her throne. The G-Unit realists, but on the other side of the fence, the reaction is cold, calculated, and mocking. The G-Unit realists argue that 50 Cent is simply pulling back the curtain on a fake-it-till-you-make-it empire. Financial analysts on YouTube are dissecting T.I.'s tax history, with one prominent creator stating, "You can't blame the auditor for the deficit. 50 Cent didn't spend T.I.'s money. He just turned the lights on so we could see the empty safe." To these fans, 50 is a truth teller who is holding the industry accountable for its financial illusions. They point to the G-Unit dossier as proof that the bankruptcy was inevitable, and 50 Cent was just the one to deliver the final blow. The industry blacklist behind the scenes. The industry reaction has been even more devastating. Sources inside major distribution labels are whispering about a silent blacklist. Rumors are swirling that 3 major tech partnerships T.I. was finalizing for his Bankhead revitalization project were indefinitely paused following the confrontation. Investors are terrified of the 50 Cent effect, the idea that if you partner with T.I., you become a target for 50's relentless trolling and documentary exposures. One high-level executive anonymously stated, "T.I. is a legend, but right now, his name is radioactive." Nobody wants to be the next person in 50's crosshairs. The divide of the children, perhaps the most shocking reaction, has come from the next generation of hip-hop. While older rappers are calling for peace, the younger generation is split. We've seen fake Twitter threads purportedly from Fivio Foreign and other New York artists praising 50's chess moves, while Atlanta's young stars are staying silent, terrified of picking the wrong side. The most heartbreaking reaction, however, came from a leaked family group chat screenshot, unverified but widely circulated, where the Harris children appear to be arguing about the mole accusations. The trauma isn't just financial anymore, it's generational. As the news cycle spins out of control, one thing is clear: the hip-hop community is no longer entertained. There is a sense of genuine dread in the air. Division is at an all-time high, and as T.I. remains silent in his fortress, the world is beginning to wonder if the King of the South can ever lead again. The industry isn't just waiting for the next diss track, they're waiting to see if the Harris family survives the night. We thought the bankruptcy was the end. We thought Tiny's confrontation in Manhattan was the climax. We were dead wrong. As this story reaches a fever pitch, a final, devastating revelation has just surfaced that doesn't just threaten T.I.'s bank account, it threatens to erase his entire legacy from the history books. The industry is currently reeling from a leaked, grainy image circulating on the dark web, purportedly showing a private meeting at a high-end restaurant in Queens. The photo shows 50 Cent sitting across from a young man whose face is hidden by a dark hoodie, but the gold Grand Hustle pendant resting on the table is unmistakable. The final, soul-crushing twist? The mole isn't a disgruntled employee or a bitter rival. The rumors are screaming that the person who handed 50 Cent the G-Unit dossier, the internal bank records that triggered the bankruptcy, is none other than King Harris. The motive is as cold as the betrayal itself. Insiders claim that 50 Cent didn't have to steal the information. He simply offered King something T.I. never would: a $20 million solo contract and total independence from the Harris family shadow. They say King, tired of being controlled by his father's old-school lectures, decided to burn the kingdom down to build his own. But it gets worse. As of 10 minutes ago, 50 Cent posted and immediately deleted a teaser for his new documentary, now titled Surviving T.I. and Tiny, The Final Audit. The teaser didn't show 50 Cent. It showed a figure in a G-Unit jacket, standing in front of T.I.'s iconic Atlanta studio, holding a set of keys. The cliffhanger that has everyone's blood running cold is a single text message leaked by a verified industry source. It's allegedly from T.I. to his legal team, and it only says 4 words. Tell Tiny it's him. Is the Harris family officially dead? Is T.I. about to lose his music catalog, his mansion, and his son all in the same night? The King of the South is trapped in a fortress that's already been sold. Realize that the enemy didn't break in. They were born there. But as 50 Cent prepares to drop the full documentary at midnight, the world is asking one terrifying question. If King Harris is the mole, what did he give 50 Cent in exchange for his father's soul? The credits are about to roll on the grand hustle, but the real horror story is just beginning. Stay tuned, because the next update will reveal the G-Unit signing that will change hip-hop forever. This is the most insane betrayal we have ever covered. The King of the South is on his knees, and the person holding the sword might be his own flesh and blood. But we need to know what you think. Is King Harris a traitor for selling out his father, or is he a genius for escaping a sinking ship? And does 50 Cent deserve a medal for the final audit, or has he gone way too far this time? Drop your theories in the comments right now. Use #TraitorKing or #LoyalHarris. We are monitoring 50 Cent's Instagram and the G-Unit website every single second for the midnight drop. If you want to be the first to see the leaked King Harris G-Unit contract and the actual confrontation footage, you must subscribe and hit that notification bell. This story is moving faster than the law can keep up with. Don't miss the next episode, where we reveal the secret investor who is helping 50 Cent buy T.I.'s house. Like this video to support Tiny Harris in this nightmare, and share this with every T.I. fan you know. The empire has fallen. See you in the next update.